They had survived starvation. They had survived disease. They had survived the most brutal prison camps of the American Civil War. And on the night they were finally going home, the river swallowed them whole. April 1865. The Civil War is sputtering to its end. Confederate armies are surrendering across the South. But in the chaos of peace, thousands of Union prisoners of war are being released from nightmarish camps like Andersonville and Cahaba. These men are living skeletons. Some weigh less than 80 pounds. They can barely walk. All they want is to go home. The fastest route north runs up the Mississippi River by steamboat, and the United States government has contracted private vessels to carry them. Enter the Sultana, a wooden sidewheel steamboat built to carry 376 passengers. She was sturdy enough in normal times. But these were not normal times. A corrupt quartermaster named Reuben Hatch had struck a deal. He would receive a kickback for every soldier he packed onto a single vessel. So instead of distributing men across multiple ships, he funneled them all onto one. On April 24th, 1865, over 2,300 soldiers boarded the Sultana at Vicksburg, 6 times her legal capacity. Men stood shoulder to shoulder on every deck. They covered the stairs, the railings, even the pilot house roof. The boilers had already been leaking. Engineers had patched them with thin metal just days before. But nobody stopped the loading. Nobody said a word. For 3 days, the Sultana crawled north against the spring current. The river was swollen with floodwaters, nearly 3 miles wide in places. And then, at 2 in the morning on April 27th, 7 miles north of Memphis, Tennessee, the boilers exploded. The blast tore the ship apart. Superheated steam cooked men alive where they slept. The wooden decks became an inferno within minutes. Soldiers who had survived years of war were thrown into pitch-black, freezing water. Many could not swim. Many were too weak to even float. They clung to wreckage, to each other, to anything. Some drowned, pulling others down with them. Rescue boats from Memphis arrived slowly through the fog. By dawn, the scale of the horror became clear. Bodies lined the riverbanks for miles. The official death toll stands at 1,168 souls. Some historians believe it was closer to 1,800. It remains the deadliest maritime disaster in American history. More than the Titanic. More than any shipwreck you have ever heard of. And yet almost no one remembers it. Because 2 weeks earlier, Abraham Lincoln had been assassinated. The nation's grief consumed every headline, every conversation, every thought. And because the dead were mostly poor farm boys from Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, and Tennessee, men without wealth or political connections. There were investigations. Reuben Hatch was court-martialed, but ultimately escaped serious punishment. The captain of the Sultana died in the explosion. No one was ever truly held accountable. The survivors carried their scars in silence. For decades, they petitioned Congress for recognition. Most were ignored. It took until 2015, 150 years later, for a proper memorial to be erected near Memphis. 1,500 men went into the water that night, and history simply looked the other way. But we are looking now, and we will not forget them.